Hey everyone, okay, so in this video, we're going to talk about a MiceChat article that came out just a couple of days ago in regards to some rumors in regards to Pixar Pier at California Adventure. So let's dig right in. Link in the description below. After you watch this video, check out the link, read it, really good stuff. So here we go. We're going to go left to right. Okay, so right off the bat, MiceChat mentioned that California Screamin' would be receiving an Incredibles retheme, essentially, and it would be Incredibles but would focus more specifically on Dash the Sun. I really like this idea, actually. I really do. I've never felt that California Screamin' was Disney's pinnacle of theming. It's not the best themed attraction. It's actually pretty, I don't know, it's pretty non-themed. I understand it's supposed to be a pier, but they could do better. So I'm not too upset over this. The queue for California Screamin' is probably one of the worst things that came out of DCA 1.0. There's no love lost between me and that queue. I really do not like the queue. First of all, it's very modern looking, so it doesn't really fit the pier, which is supposed to be more time period specific and a little older. It looks very modern. It looks very Six Flags. It's not an actual building, so you can see right through it. When you go down, when you pass the Cove Bar, you can see right through it to the convention center across the street. It looks terrible. They should have fixed this queue really back in 2012 when they redid California Adventure, but I digress. They did not. So this is a perfect opportunity for Disney now to build a proper queue for Screamin', and I think they will. There's really no direction they can go with that queue other than up. Okay, they can only go up in regards to that queue. So I'm positive that Screamin' will benefit in a very positive way in regards to this Incredibles retheme. I think it's going to be really a positive change for that attraction. So far, thumbs up on the California Screamin' changes. Now, somewhat sort of related to California Screamin', in that Helix area, by the exit of California Screamin', that little round patch of dirt and chain link fence, which is also hideous. They're going to be adding a spinner, like Dumbo, essentially, in that circular area. It's going to be Incredibles themed. I'm assuming it's going to be like that that weird ball thing with the arms in the Pixar Play Parade with Jack on the top. I think it's probably going to be that. That's just my assumption, my guess, but we'll see. But that's what they're putting in there. It'll be an incredible spinner. There's two reasons actually why I really like this idea. Number one, kinetic energy. It's going to add a lot of kinetic energy to that end of the pier. That's always a plus. Number two, there's really strong persistent rumors that Bugs Land is going to be removed for Marvel Land. So if they remove Bugs Land, a lot of those kiddie rides are going to go, or all of them are going to go. So Disney really needs to add some of those spinners and kiddie rides in other areas of that park, so the kids don't lose too much. So I think that's a positive move. So they need that spinner, number one, to keep their kiddie ride count high, and number two, for that kinetic energy. So great move on that. So we're going to move down the pier to King Triton's carousel. Now, MiceChat, they didn't get into a whole lot of detail with the carousel. They just said it will be heavily themed or plussed, upgraded. It'll look a lot nicer. They're going to get rid of a lot of the stucco and a lot of the vinyl, and they're just going to make it essentially prettier. They didn't mention in the article what theme it would take. I'm assuming because it's Pixar Pier that King Triton, that whole theme will go away. And the fact that it's an ocean themed carousel, I'm almost certain it will be something Dory or Nemo related. So yeah, we can pretty much bet on some sort of Nemo, Dory, and Friends type of carousel. But I'm fine with that. If they make it look really nice, Totally cool. I'm 100% on board with that. That's fine. Moving down the way a little bit, they have, you know, Midway Mania, which obviously isn't going to change. It's Pixar. We're good there. Moving a little further down is the shops and the games. Now, Pixar kind of, Pixar, Mice Chat kind of elaborated a little bit on this change the most, okay? Basically, this is going to turn into a theater, or at least some of it will turn into a theater. And the theater is going to house Turtle Talk with Crush, which is currently over at Hollywoodland, okay, in that animation building. So they're going to move that movie, they're going to put it in this new Pixar theater right over there where the shops and the games are. Mice Chat did mention that it's going to be heavily themed and pretty fleshed out. So again, that's another very positive move. Turtle Talk belongs on the pier. It should have been there from day one, to be honest with you. And, you know, we get a theater, a nice fleshed out theater. Yeah, I'm 100% on board with that. That's great. Great news. Now, one thing that they left out, the big elephant in the room, what's going to happen to Mickey's Fun Wheel? Mice Chat, the article, did not mention that at all. Not one word about that. That's a little bit suspicious. I don't know what's going on with that. This is a thing where, out of all the things announced and whatever for Pixar Pier, the Fun Wheel is my biggest concern. And it's my biggest concern because it's not just an attraction. It's not just like Goofy Sky School or Silly Symphony Swings. The Fun Wheel is essentially the icon for the park. And it's the icon for the park, and they really need to be careful with what they do with it. They can't leave it Mickey Mouse. It doesn't fit the Pixar. It's going to look really stupid if it's Pixar Pier and then you have this big Mickey face. It's going to look really weird. So they can't do that, but you don't want it to look really hokey either and have some cheap Pixar overlay to it. It's a real fine line. We'll see what happens. I did find some artwork. This is totally fan-made, right up above. Totally fan-made from Devon Disneyland, which I absolutely love. This guy needs to work for Disney, okay? Because if you can see, the Mike Wazowski head and the ball over by Screamin', it fits perfect. It looks fantastic. If this is the route that Disney's going to go with Mickey's Fun Wheel, I'm fine with that. Just make it work. Make it look great, and I'm fine. So that's my biggest concern, is how they're going to approach Mickey's Fun Wheel. Unfortunately, the Mice Chat article didn't address that. So yeah, I'm a little anxious in regards to that. That's the one big worry I have. So now moving down the pier a little bit, the Maliboomer, the old Maliboomer area, Mice Chat's saying that right now nothing's going to happen to that area, but it's basically there for future expansion. So it's going to essentially be like an entry port into a dark ride that they'll build behind Screamin'. So it'll be essentially another dark ride similar to Midway Mania, where you enter on the pier, but the actual ride is behind the coaster. So that's what that's going to be, but that's not going to be for a while. That's like a future, that whole thing is like future development. So that's pretty much all that the article stated. Like I said before, everything that was actually mentioned in the article are positive changes. My only anxiety and worry about the Pixar Pier at this time is how they're going to approach Mickey's Fun Wheel. Okay. Now they also touched upon just a little bit that the Cove Bar and Ariel's Grotto would also be receiving a new Pixar theme. I think that's kind of inconsequential. Doesn't really matter. If you go to the Cove Bar and you're having a few drinks, I don't think people really care if it's Cove Bar or if it's Nemo's Bar or if it's Dory's Bar or Pixar Bar. It doesn't really matter. You're going there for the drinks and the atmosphere. That's irrelevant. The Ariel's Grotto, I think it's kind of irrelevant as well. I mean, they can pretty much add a princess dining experience in Fantasyland or anywhere else. It's not something that has to be there on the pier. They can do it really anywhere. So I don't really have too much concern in regards to Ariel's Grotto and the Cove Bar, because it really doesn't matter the theming of those two places don't really matter too much, in my opinion. So, but that's everything, guys. Let me know what you think. Comment below. Do you like the ideas, the concepts, the rumors that Mice Chat's laying out for us? Do you not like the ideas? Are you kind of in the middle? What do you feel? Comment below. Let's talk Pixar Pier. I appreciate all the support, you guys. Thank you so much for everything. Like, subscribe. I do Disney content all the time. And as always, have an incredible day. Bye-bye.